Welcome in, everybody. I'm Josh Bean from AL.com. I'm joined with Jeff Sentell. We're here to talk about the AHSAA playoffs in football that are beginning this week. Jeff, we want to focus right now talking about the Hoover Bucks. We're going into the first ever 7A playoffs. Any chance that anybody has anything to topple the Bucks?
How about that much? Josh, that right there is represented by Central Phoenix City and Jamie Dubose, who's been a buck killer in the past. His teams at Prattville and Florence have always played Hoover tough. Josh, I think Hoover's road to the Super 7 will be easier because it's only 4 games, and it's also likely going to be paved with at least one Region 3 team. That's likely Oak Mountain in the semifinals. Hoover's got the run game last week against Blackman out of Tennessee. Their throw game got good with Jack Hutchinson. Hoover's going to win the 7A title, or I'll make some sort of stupid bet if they don't.
Okay, so we're looking around at teams that might be able to make a run at them. South Alabama this year, we've got this upstart Baker team. Just a couple of years ago, it seemed like Baker couldn't get out of its own way. Jack French and defensive coordinator Danny Smith, they've done a great job building that program. When you look at the South, you got Central Phoenix City, you got teams like Baker. Anybody from the South, anybody that you see that we haven't talked about a lot in the past that maybe can make a run? A Gadsden City, a Baker. Who do you got?
Well, Josh, my ears are burning right now because I mentioned Central Phoenix as a team that could topple Hoover and not Fairhope. Fairhope is the only unbeaten team in Class 7A. They got a dynamic quarterback in Gray Jackson. They think they're just as good as anybody else in 7A. I think when Central Phoenix City plays Fairhope in the semifinals, I think that's right, in the semifinals, that's going to be a dynamic game in the 7A bracket.
You know, it's interesting when you talk about Fairhope. Gray Jackson, dual threat quarterback. Dave Kirksey's had a great year as their tailback. They've been so explosive offensively, scoring a bunch of points. And when you look ahead and think, what could that offense do against this great Hoover defense? I know if we're talking about this, we're talking about it 5 weeks away, but when you look ahead to that, what are the chances that a team like Fairhope, could they fare well against this fast, aggressive Hoover defense?
Well, Josh, I've been covering Hoover for about 8 years now, and I got a checklist when I sit there and think, am I really going to pick somebody to beat the Bucks this week? I go 3 or 4 things. Number one, do they have a great, legendary coaching staff? I think Fairhope's not quite legendary yet. I think they've done a great job getting their players and what the talent they have there so far. Well, here's what I think. Hoover has twice the players. They had 180 players out for spring practice. They have 7 guys with SEC offers. They have more resources in coaching. They have more resources in players. They have more talent. They've been there and done that. So if any team has anything comparable with that, I pick against the Bucks. But I don't see anybody in the bracket that has that compared to Hoover.
The other thing that's new this year is you get 7A teams get an off week to prepare for the championship game. And in Hoover's case, as you mentioned, this deep, talented, experienced coaching staff, giving them another week to prepare should be a great benefit to that staff, don't you think?
And see, Hoover's so good, you can take their best player away. And they'd still be productive. They'd still be the state champion, I think, because they've got a deep tailback tandem with Marcus Webb and Bradrick Shaw. They've got Jack Hutchinson. They got Justin Johnson, Alex Elam. They got Trey Brackett. They got a lot of receivers, Leonard Wood. They got a lot of pieces, and then they have the best defense in 7A. And it's cliche to say, but the best defense usually wins the championship.
Well, we'll see what happens in the 7A bracket and see if any team can end Hoover's run of state championships. Follow all of our coverage at AL.com.